Good morning. Working through a hand on this Saturday morning. It is 10-4 offsuit. We are at a 10 NL game. We have an open raise in early position, playing 2.8 or playing 24/7. Rates it up to 2.8. Early position 2 out of 5. That's his VPIP. So he's raised once and limped once. It doesn't tell us a whole lot. Overall, it's playing 24% total. He looks like he's reasonable. So I'm gonna give him just kind of like an opening range, something like this. That's not the 20%, but again, 1 out of 5. If it's 1 out of 6, it drops it even more. If it's 2 out of 5, you just sample size is too small. So I think this is gonna be okay. I fold. Big blind calls. Again, we only have 30 hands. Overall, it's looking like he's playing loose. Big blind, he's played 50%, 2 out of 4. So I'm going to say he's getting a discount. A player like this probably plays a lot of hands. This is 50%. I took out Queens plus Ace King because that tends to be a standard 3-bet size, and we don't have any information on 3-bets here. So we're going to go with these ranges, and the flop comes Ace, Ace, Queen. I think we've looked at some flops like this before. Key thing is when you have 2 aces, it makes it harder for either player to have an ace. So like this player right here, he had a bunch of aces. Well, with that flop, it really reduces those combos. Villain 1 checks, Villain 3 checks. So I'm kind of expecting him to check everything. This guy checks, and I'm going to say he's going to easily include checks for the quads, for full houses, probably everything. Because if he doesn't have trips, like if he doesn't have 3 of a kind plus, he's going to be concerned that his opponent will have it and probably check behind. I think that's just kind of how some players play. This is his first time having a continuation bet opportunity. Me personally, I think we attack. If we're going to be betting with all of these, then you need to have draws. I probably wouldn't be betting. I'd have some, I'd mix in some checks with quads, some checks with the full houses, some checks with 3 of a kind, with like, really with like Ace King. The middle aces like Ace 9, Ace 8, possibly. I'd be betting some of these kings. Middle pairs like the queens, you could bet. Just because, I mean, when you compare this guy's range versus this guy's range, this guy has so many cards, he's gonna have to get rid of them. So I just feel like at this spot, he's supposed to be c-betting nearly 100% of the time. He didn't. I'm gonna leave in all of his hands and just say that that's a scary board. He's not gonna try to go after it with any of these weaker hands, and on the better hands, he's gonna try to slow play. So our ranges doesn't really change much. Now Jack of Hearts comes out, we get a check. He has an opportunity to bet now. It went check check. I think quads probably still would check. He doesn't have it. I think Ace Queen probably still checks here. Kind of as a slow play. Straight, maybe. Probably all the hands, yeah, because the straight completed. Now, villain bet, he bets about half pot. At this point, I think we're going to start seeing some bets. I'm going to reduce the quads and just say, let's cut that down to 50%. He might still just try to slow play that. I mean, it's hard for villain. I mean, personally, I would bet because there's so many of these big cards out. So many different ways we could get called that I would start to bet to try to get some calls. I think full house too. I'm probably going to start to bet to try to make some money. I think the straight. I think 3 of a kind bets. Pocket pair less than the top card probably goes for it. A king, middle pair. Maybe if it's part of flush draw. Maybe the gut shot draw. like one of those one card gut shots. Maybe he's betting with those, and then if he misses, he probably just checks. I don't think the bottom gut shot like the 9-8 is going to bet here. So we're gonna go with that. Villain 1 calls. So I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna give him the flush draw. We're gonna give him the open ender. 10-9, 10-8. Those are kind of weak though. I like these gut shots with the king. I like those much better. We're not going to include all of them. We're going to be doing this because all of these other hands have some sort of pair. They've got a pair associated with it. Even the 10, the 10s. And we should probably go back and do that. I didn't catch that. Oh, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, we're going to take out that open ender, the 9-10. Yeah, so he's tightened up a bit. He got rid of quite a few hands. So he's got something. So let's see what the river brings. River brings the jacks. That's actually kind of a scary card. And it's a scary card for two reasons. One, if you're in the hand and you don't have an ace, if you don't have an ace or a jack, you don't want to bet this hand. The second reason is that if you do have the ace, you might not get called. You bet you might not get called. So that's scary for two reasons. One, you could be beat. Two, you're not getting called and you're not going to win that money, that extra money. So villain 1 checks. He bets pot, which is interesting, and he calls. So, when he bets pot, I think at this point it's going for full house. Probably quads, probably a strong full house. Not sure if he would go with a weak full house or not. I think probably a strong full house at that size. A jack might just check behind and take the showdown. So I think we're looking at an ace for this guy. And then this guy calls. He's much looser. Do you think, he's going to be calling? Question is he going to call a straight? Is he going to call middle pair? I don't think middle pair or anything. Maybe he calls a straight. I don't know, with that board and with how it plays out, you might, because you might rationalize that, well, he didn't c bet, so maybe he doesn't have the ace, maybe he has king queen that he's betting, and you're just being hopeful. But I don't think you should be calling a straight here. I think if you don't have an ace or a jack, you're just folding, and a jack's going to be probably the worst hand that you're going to call with. So let's check it out. He had quad jacks. So that's in there. That's an interesting hand. And then he shows king 7. That is nuts. That was in his nothing hand. So I don't like that decision at all. You're calling the bluff catch, hoping that villain doesn't have a king. I mean, yeah. Okay, he's got a king kicker, so he's playing the board with a king kicker. That's what he could beat. But does he really think that the turn bet, is nothing? I mean, he's got the hearts. Ace of hearts could be out there, in which case you're behind. So yeah, I don't like his bluff catch at this spot. That's a very, very loose bluff catch. All right, so let's take notes. So RFI 2.8 big blind EP2 with jack of diamonds, jack of spades. He is in position. He checked. He bet, we'll say 50%, and then he bet 100%. on a ace of clubs, ace of spades, queen of hearts, jack of clubs. All right, this guy played it, I think, okay. As I said, I kind of think c-bet should have happened. So called EP2, 2.8 big blind, RFI in big blind with king 7 hearts. He is out of position. Check, check called 50%, check called 100%. I kind of feel like he missed the c-bet. Could have easily c-bet. King 7 probably folds. He picks up the pot right then and there. You're balancing like your ace-x hands. You're balancing your queens. You're balancing your pocket queens. Full house. You're balancing those types of hands. And you've got some, with the jack, you're going to be blocking some of those straights. So you might get called by a king jack or king 10. You might get called by a queen 10, hoping to pick up some draws. So you bet, you get called, and then the jack comes out, and you bet with your jacks again. If the player improved, if they got king 10, you just now filled up and you're getting paid more. So I think being aggressive would have been a little bit. Being more aggressive would have been a little bit better for this guy. I could understand his flop call or the turn call. He needs 25% equity. He might have that. He could already be behind it. In this case, he is behind. But I think there are hands that check flop that, exploitatively, there are hands that check flop, and then we'll make a bet like this, thinking that the out of position player doesn't have an ace. So, in any case, I think we're going to end here. Hopefully, you enjoy the hand. Work through another one. We took some notes. So if we see them again, we have a better idea how they're going to play. We're going to attack this guy, especially if we've got a. Yep, we're going to attack this guy, especially if we have some sort of value hand on the river. All right. Look tomorrow. Might have another one up.